Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Let's see. I don't know why I keep trying to use that. Let's see who's in here. How you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning. We're going to do a Sauna live Q&A today. We've got, we do have an agenda. How is the audio? Can everybody hear me? Somebody put in the chat, please. Yes or no. Got a little bit of a mic complication this morning. Usually we use this, but not today. Just say yes in the chat if you can hear me. So we've got a series of questions today. I only have 45 minutes. I've got a 10 o'clock today, so we got I got to leave in about 45 minutes sharp. Is there audio? Anybody? Anybody? I'm going to assume that is a no. Oh, thank you, Dana. All right, so we got a series of questions today. I said over the weekend that I would go through some emails and comments. I've picked out 5. Thank you, HypoV82. I picked out 5. Sometimes I'm going to try to spend less than 5 or 10 minutes on each of these, and then if you guys have questions in the chat, this will be available for live replay as long as I don't say anything that I shouldn't, like the last time. Let's see. The first one is about wireless baby monitors using PowerLink adapters. So I'm going to paraphrase these because we don't have time to go through the entire thing. This was both an email and a YouTube comment. Essentially, people just had a child and they're looking to reduce RF exposure in the house, and they want to, they're considering not using a wireless baby monitor, but they don't have internet in the room in order to hook up the recorder. So they were thinking of using a PowerLink adapter. I would recommend that. I use those. It's also a great way to avoid using Wi-Fi. They're concerned about creating dirty electricity in the house, in the wall. They do definitely create high frequency. They put high frequency throughout the system, but I think that's better than having Wi-Fi next to an infant, especially during their early, growth stages or adaptation stage, whatever you want to call it. So they're basically asking me, do I know of a wireless monitor system that's low RF or low EMF? Do I know of an alternative? I mean, the real way that you would do it is hire an electrician or somebody to pull shielded Cat6 that's grounded through the wall and just put a termination plate on the wall, and then you can plug in whatever you want. But if you don't plan on having a network in the house, that's probably not realistic for most folks. Plus, it's going to be expensive, very labor intensive. And if they do make a mistake, it's going to tear up the wall. You got to patch the drywall, but that's the best way. If you guys are ever building a house, definitely run Cat6 to every single room. Anywhere you put an outlet, anywhere you put a cable line, put Cat6 in. It's pretty easy when the walls are open, when you're doing the rough framing. So I would recommend, in this case, using the PowerLink adapters or the Ethernet over power line AC power adapters, so that you don't have Wi-Fi transmitters or receivers in the room that you're trying to avoid exposure in. That's what I recommend. It's pretty simple to find this stuff. You can get it all on Amazon. I use them. I don't know if I have any laying around. I probably don't. They're still in a box somewhere, but I can show you guys more on those. I did some videos on that about 1.5 years ago. I just never uploaded them. Maybe it's time. Second thing for today is the DIY sauna EMF. So there's a couple questions about this. There was one lady in specifically, I can't remember her name, but she commented on a few YouTube videos, wanted to know if the DIY sauna has low EMF. And I don't really know exactly what you mean by low EMF. So it has low magnetic fields because there's just a extension cord and some clamp lights and things like that on one side. It's pretty much, away from you. It's not close to you, but there are some electric fields. So the bulbs themselves give off electric fields. And the only way to get rid of that is to build a grounded heat shield in front of them. Kind of like you see on a space unit, or you could do it with a wire mesh. You could do it with a screen. You could do it with a lot of things. So the, it's lower than anything else that you're going to get, from Costco or Amazon or something like that. But for a DIY solution, there's never going to be anything that's 100% perfect, because we're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to perfect it or make it, a certain way. But I really wouldn't worry about it too much. If that's what's in your budget and that's what you have the space for at this, moment in your life, I would just use it, like it, enjoy it, stop worrying about the EMF, and get the benefits. So the next one is outdoor. Can you put an indoor sauna outside, even if it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit a few times a year. You can do this, but it's probably not going to work very well. Number one, if you stick an indoor sauna outside, even if you buy an expensive cover, it is going to suffer from moisture, sun, all kinds of different element wear and tear items. So it's going to be difficult to, well, let's just get the temperature thing out of the way first. I've made several videos on this. You can probably search them and find them on YouTube. The indoor-outdoor thing, if you stick a sauna that has no insulation and no double pane glass, it's not really sealed up, and there's vents and things in the roof, and you have a 55, 65 degree day, the sauna is going to struggle to create 140 degrees in a 65 degree or 55 degree or 45 degree environment. So if you think that, it would be okay, or that it's going to work well, just think of it like this. How long in your house, like here in Florida, it's hot as hell outside, but we keep the AC, let's just say it's an average of 75. So on average, how many minutes do you think it takes to go from 75 to 140? A lot. So every 5 or 10 degrees that you go underneath that, it's going to increase that time dramatically until it gets to a point where it just can't do it. There's just not enough power in the sauna to overcome the difference in temperature. So if you stick an indoor sauna outside and it's 50 degrees, the amount of time that it takes to go from 50 to 140 is pretty much double, if it'll do it at all, compared to 75 or 80 to 140, or whatever I said. I think I said 150. I should have said 140. But I wouldn't recommend it. It's just not going to perform well. You don't have insulated glass. You don't have insulation in the roof. There's no insulation in the walls. So it's basically like trying to tow a 36-foot boat, with, I don't know, a little 4-cylinder or V6, when you should have, a dually or some type of a F-250 or something like that, 3/4 ton at least. And then the other thing is an indoor sauna, the ones that are behind me, these guys, they're not really, they have like a mini varnish oils on the outside, but they're not really sealed up to withstand elements. And they definitely don't have a roof. So in the event that the cover blows off, you forget to put it on one day or anything like that, if it rains on top, it's going to rain inside. And so they're really just not suited for that. I've covered this a lot. There's separate videos for all this stuff. You can search on YouTube. Next topic is buying used saunas. So there was, let me turn this off. There were a bunch of these. I'm going to paraphrase them because people have different questions for different situations. The first one was from a lady that wanted to buy a $3,000 Clearlight Sanctuary 1 used. She wanted to know if this was a good deal. It's 3 or 4 years old. Should she purchase that? What's the average? Let me look this up too while we're talking. What is the average, price loss year after you purchase a sauna? All this stuff. You can get a Clearlight Sanctuary 1 basswood, I think right now for $4,500, $4,700, something like that. The deal is when you buy a used sauna like that, if it's 3 or 4 years old, you can't really tell how much the people have used it. Every single listing that I see, only used it once or twice, or only used it like 10 times, da da da. You can clearly see on the wood when you're looking at a used sauna, is it stained? Has there been moisture? Is there is there any type of wear and tear? I guess if you don't look at these things every day like I do, maybe you can't see some of the common items, but it's pretty easy to see when the heaters have stained the wood, like on some of the older ones or stuff like that. For me, I wouldn't pay $3,000 for a used Sanctuary because you can get a brand new one for a little bit more. I would probably try and offer those people a lower offer. I would also look for, well, there was a second lady too. She wanted to know if you could get a used J&H sauna for $600. Now I think this is a worse deal because a brand new J&H sauna is like $999, $1,000. So you're going to pay 60% of the value for something that's cheaply made to start with, and it's not the best build quality as it is. So if the people have beat on it at all, blah blah blah. At the same time, all you guys looking for used saunas, you really can't be that picky. You're not going to get, you're not going to get a stand-up wooden sauna for $600 from anywhere, right? So if that fits your budget, if that fits your space requirements or what you need right now, because some people can't get a sauna even if they're willing to pay full price, because the shipping times are taking so long. I get it. It's COVID stuff and everything is behind. People are out of stock. Deliveries have been delayed in certain areas, yada, yada. It's affecting me too. I mean, I'm waiting on stuff so that we can do videos. We're supposed to shoot videos last week and I still don't have the shipments for the portable stuff. So, I mean, I get it. I understand. At the same time, when you're looking at used saunas, if you come across something that's cheap, like less than $1,000, you're not going to get, you know, everyone wants, like, they want the warranty to still exist. They want to know that it's going to last. They want it to be low EMF. They want to know if that's a good price. I mean, it's too many things. Just be happy that you can get a sauna for less than $1,000 because you don't have to spend, you know, 3, 4, 5,000. So I would recommend anybody looking at a used one, unless it's a glaringly bad deal, just try to negotiate with the people. So $600 for a used J&H sauna, is it going to be higher EMF? Yeah. Can it get you by for a little while? Sure. So why not just offer them like $5? Why not just offer them $450? You know, see if they'll take less. Make sure you look up the retail price before you go and pay for these things. Just because it's like the Clearlight Sanctuary, it seems like a good deal at $3,000, but is it? It would be a little better at $25, much better at $22, way, way better at $2,000. So just look at the retail pricing. Not all this stuff is easy. Like when you go to buy a sauna, one of the common cons, I call it a scam, is that the sauna salesperson will say, oh, well, you know, if you ever move or you don't like it or blah, 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 you can just sell it. I have tried to sell certain saunas for months and they don't always sell. It's got to be something that's popular. It's got to be something that's recommended. It's got to be something that people want. So never buy a sauna just assuming that you can sell it like at full retail. But if you buy a used sauna for anywhere under $1,000, you can resell it for anywhere under $1,000. So this sauna that I have behind me, the elderly couple had it listed last week for $800. And without me even asking, they said, if you'll come get it this week, we'll give it to you for $725. That's a great deal. It didn't turn out to be a great sauna. I could resell that for $725, no problem. It might take a little while because it's not the newest thing. I thought it was a little newer because on the control panel, the little black thing that you can see behind me, it says, you know, Health Mate Professional or something like that. So I thought it was one of the newer ones. I get it. It turns out not to be good. I wasted 3 hours round trip going to pick that thing up. Plus I had to load it. Plus I had to lug it up the stairs. Plus I had to test, find out for myself. So I understand what you guys are going through. It's not always the funnest thing, but just, do the best that you can with what you have to work with. Next question. This one's kind of good. This was a particular email, I think, from last week. A lady is either doing addition or building a house, and code is requiring the dedicated circuit for their sauna install to have a GFCI, GFCI outlet system. So this is pretty normal. She says that most of the sauna companies that she's talked to basically don't recommend using GFCIs. I would agree. Sometimes because of the amperage or because of the length that a sauna is on and it has that power draw, it can trip GFCIs. It doesn't really play nice all the time. And so her question is, we're required by code to put in GFCI outlets so that we have the fail-safe protection on the system. But all the sauna companies are saying, we haven't figured out which sauna we're going to buy. All the sauna companies are saying which or don't put in GFCIs, but it's required by code. So our contract, they're kind of in a pinch. Here's what you do. Let the contractor put in the GFCI outlets, buy the sauna that you want, use it, make sure that the circuit that you're putting in for the sauna itself is sized correctly. So if you're going to put in a 4-person sauna, or you think you might, make sure that you have 220 there if you need it. Make sure that you have at least 20 amps in case you need it. And if they put in a GFCI outlet and the sauna doesn't play nice, just get somebody to switch the outlet out for you. It won't affect the circuit, won't affect the performance of anything. You'll just get rid of the little set, reset, test outlet type that has the fail-safe protection inside. Sometimes it depends on the wiring. It depends on the sauna. Sometimes you can get away with it. Other times they really wreak havoc. They don't play nice for some reason. And it is kind of a conundrum because these people at sauna companies that are telling you not to have GFCI outlets installed are not electrical experts. So usually they've only set up the sauna that they have in their own house and no other experience basically setting up anything else. And so they're telling people to do stuff they really don't have a lot of experience with personally. So that can be an issue. But no matter what, in order to get your CO, you're going to have to do whatever code requires. And then you can find somebody to change it later for you. That's just how it's going to have to go. Let's see what else. We are jamming through these. Not bad. 15 minutes. Do you guys have any questions? We're going to open up the chat in just a minute. I'm on a tight schedule today, so we won't be hanging around for as long as I normally do. But I'll do another one of these later in the week if there's stuff that we can't get to. There's actually not a lot of people on. It doesn't look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's not a lot of people on. Anybody have any questions that are pressing? Anything you would like to discuss? Any requests for future live? Any requests for videos later this week? Hello, hello. Nobody? Nobody has anything? I'm trying to think. There was one more. There was one more email that I didn't get to. You guys are chatty today. Sarcasm, yes. All right, I think I'm going to save this for a future video that I'll film later today. If you guys have any video requests, I'm going to make this available to watch later. If you guys want to see something else, just use the comment system below the video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.